Hello, this is Keith Owens welcoming you to the Afro Fantasy Detroit podcast, a Detroit Stories quarterly production. Today I will be reading you The Egg Part 9, and I hope you enjoy it. November 21st, 2036, 9:47 a.m. To Faye, Simona's mother, the creatures gathering in her backyard were something that should not exist anywhere outside of a bad dream. She felt herself begin to tremble as she held her daughter close, determined to protect her only child however she could. But then Simona tilted her head to the side as she leaned forward. Simona was seeing something else entirely. What she saw were large, multicolored parrots with feathers so brightly colored they seemed electric. Parrots had always been Simona's favorite bird, but she knew enough to know they didn't belong in Michigan, and parrots never grew that big. She started to raise the question, but then, comfort? Where was that voice coming from, Simona wondered. Simone, baby, what is it? Asked Faye, who hadn't heard a thing. Simona looked up over her shoulder at her mother, her eyes questioning and confused. Simona knew that mother's tone all too well. A reflexive biological response was in the process of being formed. But then she heard it again. Are you comfort? We want all of you comfort. Important. All of us? Asked Simone, turning away from her mother. Not alone. You, mother, all comfort. Yes, she said, then giggled as if someone had told her a joke. There came a sound like a room full of hissing snakes, growing steadily louder until Faye was forced to loosen her hold on Simona as she squeezed her eyes shut and clamped her deft hand over her ear. Simona shrugged free of the remaining grip and took a step toward the parrots with their huge wings outstretched in welcome. No, I'm not scared. Faye could hear herself scream as her hands reached out after her daughter, her feet somehow locked in place. But soon the hissing ceased and Simona was gone. So were the birds. Faye was still screaming. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this reading of The Egg Part 9. And I hope you'll join me again next week for Part 10 of The Egg, the conclusion. This is Keith Owens signing off, and remember you can read the entire story of The Egg from beginning to end at my Substack, Afro Fantasy Detroit, which is the Detroit Stories quarterly production. Feel free to visit our Detroit Stories quarterly website at DetroitStoriesQuarterly.com, where you can catch up on all of our Detroit Stories quarterly magazine issues. See you next week.